everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a little tutorial craft with me type of thing. I am working on Father's Day gifts and I want to create a notebook using some of my paper pads that I haven't even touched. So I was inspired by these bows that were sent to me by Robin in the cutesy swap, and I have papers that kind of coordinate, like this one, which I've had since 2019 that I haven't used, but I knew I wanted to use it for masculine projects because it has like the lion. I also loved it because it has like African prints, and it was only $3.99, so why not? And then I also have this paper from Griffin that I picked up on clearance from Cricket, and it's beautiful papers. This is actually, I think I have 2 packs of this, so I want to put a dent in that as well. I may have already used 1 pack, but it's still here, so let me keep using it. So I do have some chipboard that I'm going to use, and I picked this up off Amazon in packs of 25, if I'm not mistaken. I'll link it down below. And then I have this writing tablet that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to turn this into a cinched book for a little more sturdiness. I'm thinking I'm going to give this to my husband, and he loves to use notebooks for taking notes and stuff. He is into development and coding, so he is one that likes to write everything down, and I think this will be a nice little gift. So I'm going to make a gift set for him, as well as a couple other men in my life that I'd like to just give them a little something. But we are going to start with this project first. All right, so my little one is here, so if you hear her talking, it's her. Let's pick out some paper. I'm just gonna put this to the side. And because I know how he likes to write and whatnot, I'm not going to make the cover of his book chunky. I am going to try to keep it a flat project. But I love that this paper is double-sided, so you have even more options. Also hate it at the same time because I have to cover it all up. I'm thinking, since I'm going to be wrapping the book, that I should use this because I'm not going to use this page. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Just set this to the side. This one. So here is my cutter, and the book is 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. Sorry for the glare. So my book is going to be 6 by 9. All right. So before I cut into this, I will say if you do not have a cinch, just consider making a regular album with a spine. It's going to be similar. You're still going to use chipboard. You're just going to have a spine on your project. All right, so let me cut the chipboard down before I cut the book down. So I want it to be 6 by 9. So this is my front and back cover for the book. So be something like that. And then my pages, I want to have at least 1 inch to wrap around. And then I'm actually going to have to pick papers for the inside cover as well. So let's do 10 by 7. And this is to wrap covers. And let's go back and pick some more papers. I really like this page, but I really like the birds too, so I'm torn. But it's gonna be an inside, so I can get away with only having to use one sheet. So let's make this 9 and then 6. And maybe I can fussy cut a bird out and put it on there or something. I don't know. But I love, love, love this. So it's going to be protected because it's in the inside. Okay. All right. So now that I have everything cut out, I'm going to now score my covers so that I have some fold over. And I'm going to do a 1/2 inch on each side. And I'm just leaving these lined up together. They are kind of thinner pages, so it should be fine. So add a 1/2 and 9 1/2 on your 10-inch side, and then a 1/2 and 5 1/2 on your 6 1/2. I'm sorry, on your 7-inch side. All right. So we don't need that anymore. So now it is time to burnish and cover. All right, so we are going to cover our books. This page that we scored is the front, and then this decorative page is the inside, and I'm not sure which side I'm going to use, but I think I'm just going to use I have my wet glue here, but I don't want any bubbles, but I think it should be fine. So we're just going to cover it with our wet glue, and I'm using my Barely Arts here. All right, so my covers are covered in the front, but now I need to add a page to the inside, and I think I'm gonna add this bird. I really like it. I think he will too, unless I just do one of each. It's the front and the back. It doesn't all have to be matchy-matchy, so let me grab the other page. I mean, it's all in the same collection, so I think he'll like it. Either way. Well, I know he will. My husband's not picky in the least bit. I think I'll do the birds. I really like them. So now that I have my covers covered, I took a scrap piece of paper and cut it to the length of the actual pages that will be inside, and that is 8 3/4. And I played around with punching because I don't want to mess this up. So the first thing that I did was I folded it in half and went with the method of lining it up on the center and then punching on each side, and that did not work. As you can see, it would punch over the edge, and that's not what I want. So then what I did was, because none of these obviously say 3/4 of an inch, I looked up some of these A sizes, and one of them did have 3/4 of an inch, I think. So I just used the guide for B, and when you line it up, it makes sense, because when you line it up to punch, the edge of your paper lines up on 3/4 of an inch. So I knew that's what I wanted, and it punched beautifully. So if you're going to use something this size, or even something with 3/4 of an inch as your measurement, I would just go ahead and recommend to use the B setting with this, the mini cinch. Don't know how it is with the big one, but like I said, I'm still figuring things out, but I know now what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to leave this here, and then I'm going to punch my pages, and I will be back. All right, guys, so I punched all the holes and ended up making a mistake with the covers, and I tried to cover it up, but then I was just like, it's too much work. So I made more covers, and this time the inside is going to have lions, which I love, and that leaves me more to do with the front. So let's get to binding this. Hopefully I don't have any issues there. Again, I'm still learning the cinch, and yeah, it's definitely been kicking my butt a little bit. So let's put our covers on and add our papers. there is the book, and now it's time to do something to the front. So I think I'm gonna do my infamous page ripping with all of the scraps that I have from making the covers. So yeah, so that leaves me with at least 4 designs that aren't on the inside or in this book. And then I may go in the book and cut out the lion and put him in there as well. So I just rip pages. I like to see the white part of the pages. And I try to make shapes. So I have that. And this. All right, let's see what we can come up with. So, and I kind of like the rip look with this because the lion is in the inside. So, you know, like how a tiger paw would look. That's ultimately what I want. Is this, yeah. This side to be ripped. So there's no rhyme or reason to what I am doing. I just go with what I have, and then whatever is left is just scraps for me to put elsewhere. What I may do is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do this on a piece of scratch paper so I can glue it down. I think I want to cut it out in like a circle. So there's my book. And all right, so instead of die cutting out a circle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these trim covers from the end of the spools, and I am going to cover it and then glue it on. So that saves me from having to use a die, because honestly I don't want to pull all that out. So I'm just going to layer this up, keeping in mind that I'm covering up this circle. I don't know, I always love the extra character that rip pages give my projects. So if I get the opportunity to add them, I usually do. More of this print, and then I'll tuck this on this side. Okay, so let's get to gluing. Using the rip pages is also a way for me to just go with the flow. Unless you have a guide, you can't control how you rip the page, so you just have to go with it. And you can do angling. And it's never how I lay it out to see if I like. It's never that design. Let's do that. Glue there. And I want this one to be tucked underneath. Over here. Actually, one like this. Maybe. And this one, I don't want as much white. So, yes, I think this is what I want. Let's see if I can kind of line this up. It's fine if it's not. But there we go. So there we are. There is the ripped portion. And you just go around. With your scissors. And there we go. So boom, now we have a, actually no, I'm not done. I need to put something there because I don't like that tiny little piece showing. I want it to have a little color. So that is gonna go there. It's too much ripped page for me. So. All right. So now we have our center of our book. This element here. And it's gonna go flat if possible. Let me just look at the sheet with the lions and make sure where the parrot. Let's see if I want it to be on there or not. And I hate that in order to get the full lion, I have to cut out the center of the page. I don't know. I don't think I want it on there, but I want something. So let me look in my stash and see what I can come up with. All right, guys, so I fussy cut out one of the flowers from a page in that same paper pad. So let's see if I can find it quickly. Of course I can't. This page. I just fussy cut out one of the flowers, and I'm just going to add that on here. Go ahead and lay this down. So I'm going to go ahead and try to lay this down kind of centered there. And then my flowers are gonna go, ooh, I think that's how I want them. Like this. And color up that, yes. How does that look? I think that's what I want. Just gonna add this on here. because it's wet glue, I get to play with placement just for a few. Just press it down, let the glue go over the edges so it keeps it all matted down. And where everything is where it should stay. So I think that's it. I may add something there, but more than likely I will not. And if anything, I'm going to put something on top of this to keep it in place. There is the finished book. I think he will like it. I mean, flowers can be masculine, so there we go. I did end up going back and trying to make something with the front covers that I messed up. So this is pretty much all I have left of the two covers, and they both were 6 by 9. So this is all I have left. I was able to make 2 pads out of this. So this one is 4 by 6. I wrapped the opposite edge that I didn't want to use, and I tried to make sure I had paper that lined up with some of the holes that were already punched. So I was able to get a 4 by 6 out of this. And this is also a notepad you can pick up from the Dollar Tree. But with this one, I noticed that with the larger one, 100 pages kind of pushed the rings to the max. So I didn't put all of the book, like 3/4 of the book in there. And then I have this smaller one that I created. So I basically did the same thing for both. I just wrapped them with the satin ribbon that I had and then burned the edges. So it's like exact to the paper size because, you know, the holes are already punched at the top. So this one I actually cut down a bit. That's why you see these pieces. But it's just clear. It's just white paper. So basically this is a stationery set. I can add a nice pin, tie the ribbon around it, and there you go. But I'm probably still going to end up making one more because I have the bag topper and bag that Robin created for the swap, and I have more projects to make, so I want to use her entire envelope, all the contents, for a Father's Day gift. But yeah, so that is all that I have, guys. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.